So Highland Rise Podcast, I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
Throwback Thursday, recorded on a Thursday, posted on a Monday.
Life as it should be.
Life as it should be. And a good old yap sesh before we recorded this. It is officially reset.
We're back.
We didn't stuff this in between a bunch of interviews. We got to do a good old catch up ahead of this, which is what Glory and I typically do. We book out the hour, take 30 minutes to catch up, make sure we're all good.
In like 15 minutes.
Make sure we're all good in our personal lives, and then catch and then shoot the actual thing, shoot the shit. So we're continuing on with Sleeping with Sirens and their discography. Today we're chatting about the 2017 album Gossip, which at the beginning of this review I was like, yeah, there's that redheaded stepchild in the midst of the discography, and Gloria was like, what the fuck do you mean? And I was like, you'll see it when we get there. And it makes Madness make a lot more sense, because Madness had, it was about a 50% a pop album, if not more, but it still had some heavier songs and some rock moments even littered throughout those pop songs, where it was like, okay, this band is still a semblance of the band that they used to be, although they're experimenting and doing other things, and it was well received. So obviously the band looked at that and was like, okay, people want us to be a pop band, so they tried it, and this was at the time in a weird time in the rock and metal scene where every band was trying to get away from the heavy label.
Yeah, everyone's doing the sound.
Yeah, everyone was trying to get away from the heavy label. Every band had that like weird record, like sometimes it was the heavy band going for radio rock, other times it was a band like Sleeping with Sirens going for a more pop sound like this. And I went to Rockstar Disrupt Festival in 2019, which was like just on the cusp as the bands were like, oh wait, this isn't working. And the stark contrast in like seeing those songs performed live, which obviously most of these songs are no longer performed live, but the bands were like on the tail end of that that era, that album cycle moving into the next thing, was funny. And I only bring up that festival because I saw Sleeping with Sirens at that festival. I also saw Memphis Mayfire at that festival. They had a straight up butt rock record that had come out right around that time, which I love. The Old Me, that record is phenomenal, in my opinion, but I do like when Memphis Mayfire is heavy. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of preface all of that before diving into the record. The time in which this album was put out and where a majority of the scene was going at that time makes this record a little less of a redhead stepchild in the grand scheme of the scene and the time. For some reason, every band wanted to get away and go straight mass appeal, and it worked for basically none of them. And also kind of looking at it in the sense of Madness and what we talked about with Madness and that conflicted feeling that we kind of got from the record of where do they want to go. Well, it was very obvious where they wanted to go, and they were testing the waters, and they felt that warm reception to the heavy songs on the record, like Kick Me and We Like It Loud and Better Off Dead, made everyone be like, yeah, we want a record that sounds like the Strays. Fuck yeah. And they went ahead and they didn't even do that. This is like a 70s tinged pop album.
It's so strange. Also, like One Direction-ish. It's like it has like the pop vibe with like we're a little edgy with a little rock and roll in there too. It's so weird. This is the weirdest fucking discography we've ever tackled, because it's like every album is just, there hasn't been an album where I'm like, this is iconic. This is like it start to finish.
That's the first two albums.
No skips. Every album we've reviewed for this fucking band, I've always been like, dude, something's wrong here. This is just not good. There's something like, just
in terms of the iconability of the discography, it's the first two records. Those are the iconic ones.
It's iconic.
Yes, but there's still
breaking it down. Is it good? No. No, it's not. It's fine.
So I kind of knew what to expect from this album because I actually think Legends is a solid song. That's my favorite. That's my favorite song off the record. Go ahead.
I'm so happy you brought that song up. Okay, so let me draw this line. You brought it up earlier, so this is just me kind of making it a full circle. This was actually the first record of the other two that I'm going to reference, Pray for the Wicked. Well, technically, Death of a Bachelor came out in 2016, so technically Death of a Bachelor, Gossip, and then Mania was the trilogy of the, hey, we're kind of leaning into the pop era of our band, and then Panic at the Disco went like full throttle with Pray for the Wicked. Victorious, Champion, Legends are all the same fucking song.
Well, they are. Yeah.
I don't know who put them all in the room with the same guy to write that. I don't know if they all wrote with the same guy. I don't know if they're all smoking the same crack. None of Victorious is okay. Champion, it has its moments. This song fucking sucks. I hate Legends. I'm so sorry. I'm happy you like it, but as soon as it came on, I listened to it, I think maybe twice, maybe thrice. I was like, this is like the corniest. This is like when this album is the epitome of like Bring Me the Horizon's Throne, where it's just like, yeah, it's like catchy. Yeah, it probably had its moment in the spotlight with the radio. This album feels like it was written it's radio rock. It's radio pop rock. And it's like, it was written to be mass appeal. It was written...
And it totally missed the mark. It totally missed the mark in every sense of the word. And you're totally right about Legends and the rest of the record being incredibly corny and pandering and very, very much a nothing sandwich. But in
another one. This is your second nothing sandwich.
But almost in a different way than Feel was, because Feel still had like a semblance of emotion behind what was being said. Kellen isn't even selling the words that he's saying on this album, because that's one thing that I love about this band is the very emotive, singing and screaming and whatever, the emotion behind and the power behind the delivery of the lyrics that can sell just about anything. Sold a shit sandwich to me on Feel and continues to do it every time I listen to that record, because that is the epitome of a nothing sandwich. But on this record, Kellen almost feels like he doesn't want to be in the booth singing these words either.
Just phoning it in, yeah.
And it's very phoned in the entire record. And it's ironic because they didn't have to do this. They experimented with it on Madness and then went all the way with it on Gossip. And it just feels phoned in and lazy and half-baked, and every negative connotation that can be given, it feels that way. Legends is my favorite because it is one of the most driving songs off of the record. One of the least offensive in that sense. I just like saying the words least offensive. I don't know, that just I've been using it a lot these days.
No, it's fun.
It's fun. And in like a very loose sense, it kind of feels the most of what the core of the band, sonically. It's the like I said, it's the most driving song off the record. So it's the least pop. It's got some rock-ish kind of elements, and the message is obviously corny, phoned in, done a million times. I like the message of the song, and I just think that the chorus on it is catchy. If I'm being quite frank, this is
just you can enjoy the song.
I like it. I like it, but I'm gonna backpedal on it as well because I think the rest of the record sucks incredibly bad, and this song also sucks incredibly bad. But I do think that the chorus on this song is incredibly catchy, and I do like it. And I'm glad Glory told me I can like it, because I'm just gonna say I liked it.
Okay,
I've liked this song for a long time because I've been
my favorite song ever. Actually,
no, I've been a fan of this band for a long time, and I don't know if I've ever listened to this record in full, but I think I tried to give it a spin, and I was like, yeah, no, it makes sense why the people say that this record is not like any of the other ones. But I have always liked Legends. The way it opens with the title track is just like it sets the tone for what you're going to get. Absolutely. Is it a terrible opening song in the grand scheme of the record? No, I think it sets the tone well for what you're about to get, and it's
I enjoyed it.
yeah, and
I thought it was fine.
It sets the tone. The record, honestly.
Okay, I don't like where you're going.
Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out of the fact that the album itself sucks, and let's look at it from the scope of just an album that we're listening to.
Is that not what we're doing before?
That is exactly what we're doing. Let's zoom out a little bit. We're zoomed very much in. We're looking at the minutia. Let's zoom out a little bit, all right? Okay. The record gets progressively worse the longer it goes. That's the problem with this album.
Yes. But Legends, so after 2,
all right.
It just gets...
You're just a hater. The way the record, like... The record sucks. Okay,
yes.
let's just blanket statement.
End the review.
Let's blanket statement with the record sucks is the redhead stepchild of their discography. Is phoned in, is corny, and shouldn't have been made. And I don't know where the band was coming from with this record. Let's get all of that out of the way. Now let's chat about the album as the album. The reason why this record sucks so bad, outside of the fact that it's phoned in and it feels lazy and it's corny and the band feels like they don't want to be there, even though they very clearly made the decision to go this route.
You guys wrote the songs.
Is that like after track 4, and I'll give them some of track 5, it just becomes utter horseshit. It's the same thing as Pray for the Wicked, where it's so front loaded with like any semblance of this album being even remotely good that the rest of this listen becomes so painfully bad. And I think that that's where my feelings of phoned in and lazy and the band not wanting to be there recording those songs come from, because the back half of this album feels like that. They almost sell it to you on the first half with Gossip, and I know you don't agree, but Legends and Empire to Ashes,
it's like they're savages, you know. It's corny, it's like a call out, like it's just so,
and like those songs, they're selling what they're going for, and I'm almost buying it on those first few songs. I don't think the record opens terribly for what the album is. Again, the album sucks. I don't know how many times I have to say it.
Let's just bring it back one more time. The album is absolute shit. Yeah, except the opening track is fine.
But for what they're going for, they're selling it on the first few songs. They've got me. They've got me sold. They got me. They want to be there. The songs are still corny as shit, but the vocal performance is there. The band sounds tuned in. It doesn't sound as phoned in as the rest of the songs. And then it's like all of a sudden it just kind of flips on track 5, and all of a sudden they don't want to be there. The songs are phoned in. It's lazy. The vocal performance is like tuned out, and that's my problem with the record, is just how boring and pathetic it gets when at like the snap of a finger. And that was my same grievance with Pray for the Wicked, you know, since it's all kind of just like alternative scene in general just decided they all wanted to be pop around this time weird. Of 2017 to 2019, and it was basically like the turn of the pandemic. Everyone got pissed off again, and we started getting heavy music from all these bands again. At least the ones that were heavy, we got a return to form on the ones that were a little bit more alt leaning. And
down.
Panic at Disco is like, we're gonna record the tape and see what happens.
It's gonna be shit.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Take it away, Glory, if you got anything else.
I have literally nothing to say about this record. I said before we started recording, I was like, I have like 5 minutes to talk about this record. 5 minutes of shit to say. All of it summarizes to, I think this record and Feel are both nothing sandwiches. I liked a few tracks off of Feel. I like one track off of this record. So I feel like it's just getting worse. This band has the most confusing discography to me, especially because of how heavily they're praised in the scene. And it's making me think, do you guys just like Kellen Quinn's vocals?
Yeah.
Like, is that literally it? Because I'm listening to the discography and I'm like, I don't get it. Madness? Record's good. I think it's fine, you know? Everything else, the debut, probably their best. Everything else is like so lackluster. You know, it's nothing that would make me go, "Oh, I haven't gotten like a I get it moment yet with this band." For the amount of praise and recognition that they get, the amount of pull that their name has, literally none of it's earned for me yet because I'm like, this is just kind of dooky, guys. Like he has crazy vocals, but it's like the writing, the instrumentals, like even the mixing, like nothing stands out at all. Um I'm so disappointed because I really wanted to like this band. Like I was so excited for this review. Yeah.
Well, I knew this record was going to be terrible, and I knew that this was going to bring out the worst in our emotions because of how different the record is, and it's not even like they executed what they were going for in a good way. It would be a completely different argument, although we probably still wouldn't be like this is their best record if it was executed literally any differently, and there was even some semblance of they want to do this. But yeah, those are our thoughts on Sleeping with Sirens 2017 album Gossip. Redheaded Stepchild, like I've been saying from day one, I knew that this was coming. Gloria had no idea. And you know, I don't like to I don't like to outright warn her of what's coming. You know, when we're doing these things and she's the blind one, you know, I like to allude to that sense of mystery, and that's kind of how we do this podcast in general. Is we don't tell each other what's going to be on the other side of that record if we've heard it before, and that goes for new music as well. So you know, we like to keep that illusion up so that we can actually have some semblance of a conversation. Because if not, we'll just have that conversation with each other off the air, and then we have to recreate it, and it's we like never the authenticity, you know.
Yeah, exactly. This is raw, straight
unlike Sleeping with Sirens on this album.
Yeah,
but those are our thoughts on their 2017 record Gossip. We got a couple more albums to go. We're coming up on I'm gonna say it, my favorite record is the one we're gonna be chatting about next, so Glory, keep that in mind. I really like How It Feels to Be Lost. But you can follow us on Instagram. It's Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. All the audio streaming services are all Good Noise Podcast. Patreon is patreon.com/Good Noise Podcast. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. It helps us out a ton, and it's the only place that you can find these throwback reviews. So if you want to hear our opinions on the rest of Sleeping with Sirens discography, subscribe. Stay tuned. All the previous episodes are all linked in the description below, so you got some episodes to binge watch if you'd like to hear our thoughts on those records as well.
We also did Pierce the Veil. If you like Pierce the Veil, the groups are kind of overlapped. I'm learning with this tour. Apparently not, and not as much as we thought. But if you like them, we did their entire discography as well. We were a lot more positive there because I'm learning. Damn, they're a really good band. Maybe this one not so much.
Well, that's all we have today. I have been Shane.
I've been Glory.
And we've been the Good Noise Podcast. See you next week. Bye.